Hello, mathematicians. It's Miss Armgart. Welcome to your first instructional video of the school year. When you look at the top here, you will see that it says Task 621. So we are in Lesson 6, Task 21. The title is on note-taking, and we are going to explain why note-taking is so important. The learning target will be on every single set of notes, so let's get into it. So first, who are notes for? And what are notes for? The who, the what, the why. Notes are for you. So the reason you take them is because you forget things. So this curve of forgetting here is the super duper important point. That first line, the first time you learn something, within an hour, you've forgotten most of it. But you'll notice every time you go back and review, so we have an hour, we have a day, we have a week, you bump back up, and on the fourth review, you are sitting here at over 80% retention, remembering. So it is super important to take your notes because you can review them, you can refer back to them on a PCQ or a standard check. They also help you to remember by just actually writing things down. It actually helps you to remember better. They have done studies, there is science on this. Trust me, folks, even though notes take time, it's okay. You're not going to be great yet. We are practicing so many things right now in math. Notes is one of them. So just trust me on this, folks. You will get better. We will take notes all year long. So there are different styles of notes. You'll see here, this is our Cornell. This is how your notebook is set up. This is how these notes are set up, where you have your notes on the right side. On the left side, here are suggestions for what to do. You'll notice you interact with these notes after class, during review time, before you start your homework, before you start a different task. The idea here is to do the first repetition on your notes, and then the second to the third over here on the side, interacting with those notes. So it's not just that we take the notes, but that we use them. Now, not everyone likes to just write things down. That's cool. We got sketch notes too. So sketch notes are more, you'll see pictures, but you're still taking notes. You're still identifying the main ideas. You are still capturing ideas and quotes. It just looks different. And then here where it says add, so the capture ideas and quotes is your first time. You're adding things, that's that 2 to 3 repetitions. You're adding them after you've taken the notes. You're going back and you're looking at them again. So they look different, but you are doing the exact same thing both times. Let's practice taking some notes with our number system. All right, so you will see on your notes a very similar looking diagram, the classification of numbers. So we are not going to worry about complex numbers. That is higher level math. We are in 6th grade. We're not going to do that. We're talking real numbers. So all real numbers. I like to think of this as like a pyramid. Natural numbers are all counting numbers, like we would say, except for 0. So natural numbers do not include 0. It's everything 1, 2, as high as you can count, like you did in elementary school. Natural numbers, all counting numbers except for 0. Now you'll notice in whole numbers include 0 and any number that is a natural number, because it's just 0 that doesn't get included in natural numbers. That bucket is smaller because there's no 0. So then you'll notice 0 is also an integer. Integers include positive and negative whole numbers. So integers are one step down the pyramid. It's a larger bucket because now we have both positive and negative. But 0 is an integer and a whole number. 2 is an integer, a whole number, and a natural number. I know this is kind of confusing, folks. Don't worry. We're going to go through it. So then rational numbers here, you'll notice we are adding decimals and fractions. So all rational numbers are real numbers, but rational numbers are not integers, whole numbers, or natural, because remember, we're getting smaller as we go up. But we can put 10 here, we can put 0 here, because 0 is a rational number, an integer, and a whole number, but it's not a natural number. So let's use this knowledge to classify these numbers. All right, so we have checkboxes. So what I want you to do is I want you to pause the video, try to figure out, folks, here's the answer. So -13, remember, integers have positives and negatives. So integers are also rational. They're that step up. But 4 divided by 5, 4/5, and 0.25 are just rational. They're at that bottom, they're at that base. They're not integers, they're not whole numbers, and they're not natural numbers. It's the going up. So this diagram here will be super duper helpful on your standard check. So now that you are done taking your notes, what I want you to do is look at your definitions, your vocabulary. You're going to add your own examples. So an example of an integer that does not appear in the notes, and an example of a rational number that does not appear in the notes. Once you're done, these notes go in your journal. And until next time, I'm Miss Armgart.